Hey, Brian here from quantlabs.net. I just want to let people know, especially we've got a whole slew of new members that have joined the quantlabs.net premium membership. Thank you very much. Don't want to let anybody down in the membership. So I'm here on public record to talk about the next set of challenges that I've faced and where I'm going with it and what I'm going to do about it. First, MATLAB Coder. Generating MATLAB code or M scripts from memscripts to C++ is not as an easy process as I'd like it to be. Not because it can't be done. Theoretically it can be done, but the rigidness in terms of having your MATLAB M scripts build certain ways and vectors and matrices and all that can only be done a certain way. Dare I say, in fact, that I feel that the process can be somewhat buggy. I'm not sure what's going on, but it sort of shot my disbelief in some of how the coder process and how that conversion process takes place. Meanwhile, the ability for it to do it is quite amazing, but the time it takes that you're trying to save actually costs as much time in trying to build your M script models and algorithms to conform to it to be able to generate C++. I mean, it gets to a point where it blatantly shows that the code it will generate from all the modifications you need to make will make your C++ code very inefficient. So I'm not saying it can't be done. It just depends on the algorithms and what you're doing with it. So over the next day, now remember, I've been spending a good week on this, very long hours trying. I've managed to convert quite a lot of stuff, but what happens is when you do convert from MATLAB M script and then you get a successful conversion process done, or a compile or a build, and then you got to go back and make a little change to the M script, it somehow cascades to all the other files, and it's real painful in a way. But I do think there's a better way and a smarter way to go about it, which I'm going to try to experiment with. So over the next few videos I'll be showing things like Boost, which is a C++ library. And I'm just preparing myself in case I have to do what I didn't want to do, is to hand code models and algorithms directly in C++. So I'm still trying to find the best ways to do it, using libraries like TALib or GSL, or something called Gredel for the math side, or all the algebraic and calculus type of functionality. So I'm still trying to figure all that out. I'll be putting up 2 videos that I think will be part of the core technology if I move ahead with a 100% hand-coded model in C++, which is going to be just something I don't really want to do. People have asked me, why don't I do C#? No different than I don't want to do it in Java, especially the news today that came out on BBC with a new version of Java 7. The latest JDKs are very insecure. It's been like that for the last 6 months, just reaching headline news, and I'm not really any more interested in Java as a language, just with the desktop experiences that I'm getting with the JDK, or the latest, JVM, which it's like the new Flash now, with all these security breaches. So that's thrown out from my perspective, at least. Anyways, moving on to the languages, obviously .NET with C#, probably VBA is coming into play, as well as C++, Visual C++ specifically. I'm just more productive in that stuff, so that's the direction I'm going there. And obviously still trying to visually building the algorithm is very easy and convert. That's an easy part into C++. It's building and implementing the trading rules, the strategy itself, to convert into C++ is the difficult part. So I'm going to revisit Simulink from a different perspective, because it is, I'll call it a monster. It's a beast to really wrap your head around, especially if you're new to this type of development. if you want to call it that. It's very powerful, as I've talked about. It's easy to use, but it's like checkers. It's easy to understand, but hard to master, and that's where I'm at with Simulink. So I'll be focusing on that, as well as I've figured out some other ways to visually develop algorithms through an iPad. Yes, I verified that last year. So that can be done. I verified with the same type of iPad or iOS apps. Unfortunately, they don't exist in Android, but maybe there's something equivalent in Android that can do the job. But for me, I'm an iPad guy, and that is going to be part of my development tools that I'll use to convert using the algorithm visually, and it can be done very quickly. I'm then using special custom M functions for the Simulink models. I'll show this to all my members in coming weeks in a few webinars to talk about it, and I still have to get into the implementing of the other inflow and outflow components that I've sourced out and identified. So it's still a big job ahead, but I'm really hoping I can knock these out fairly quickly. But there's always technical challenges which really slow you down, which is somewhat frustrating, as probably a lot of people imagine. But that's the value of being a member, because you save yourself all those headaches without feeling you're on your own. So I can do all the heavy lifting and all the fun stuff. So you get to reap all the rewards that I've had fun with. That's the plan I'm going in. For all my latest new members, thank you very much for joining. I'm going to be trying to get more webinars out there to make it more live, more interactive, and bring in more value for people. I do have a series of webinars that are already recorded for past webinars for my members, about 2 or 3 that you'll find in the membership, as well as a lot of Q&A and that sort of thing on the membership, because it seems to be growing pretty fast. And just wanted to say thanks to everybody that have either followed me, that are members or not members, doesn't really matter. I've had another meetup session with this thing's growing too, and a lot more advanced people are coming out to it as well. There's a lot of technical people wanting to understand how to rapidly build strategies and build strategies in an easy way, which is I can attest to that now, that it's the algorithm is the easy part. To get those algorithms developed very quickly from a research paper, it's implementing them into some kind of trading rule or trading rule-based engine, and then you got to focus also on the real-time analytics and processing is very difficult. But again, that's where the Simulink comes into play with Stateflow, which is quite powerful. So I'll be focusing on that over upcoming weeks, because that takes away a lot of that, a lot of those fears, I guess, instead of having to work with a lot of open source libraries that can be, I won't go into it, but talking to real quant guys, they've, a lot of them do question the libraries like TALib and GSL, and some of them like them and say they're okay, but they prefer to write their own APIs, and that's why a lot of the hedge funds and banks do that, because they don't like what is being developed in the more open source libraries. It's been a surprise for me, but talking to these guys over the last 6 months, and it's the same approach with R as well. But they do like MATLAB, which is a good thing. Obviously, it's quality, and because it's coming out of a large team, a set of developers at MathWorks, a lot of them don't question the quality of those products and toolboxes, and a lot of the community is really good. And I'm finding the same thing as well. But I'm not saying R is not a good language or a good platform or a good tool. It's quite stupendous at what it can do. But you will hit more walls with R than you'll hit more walls with MATLAB. That's for sure, based upon my experience. And for those that question the price of MATLAB, as some people have said in my last meetup yesterday, was that it's kind of comparing R, let's say. It's like you see it, you know how to work with it, but where do you go from there? But with MATLAB, it's a more polished product where you do get a lot of examples, and a lot more effort has been put in to really make that product quite easy to understand, and you can also do a lot of things with it visually. So that's why I'm using MATLAB. I'm quite getting more comfortable with it, and I do like it a lot. It never disappoints. Anyways, just enough blabbing. That's where we're going. So over the next few days and weeks, I'll be hopefully, I'm hoping to make some strides with some stuff, because I'm really trying to really pressure myself to get stuff done, to get some kind of platform working. Everything's in place that's identified, just actually getting it done. And that's, again, importing live market data from IQFeed and piping it through a trading engine with a trading strategy and a model and an algorithm, or maybe a series of algorithms, and then being able to make trading decisions based on that, and being able to, at the same time with that same system, be able to execute trades through interactive brokers, through the trade worker station. And again, that piece of software is also identified to execute that. There's lots of demos on the YouTube channel for that. That's my aim. That's what I'm trying to achieve, and at the same time being able to have that trading strategy. So let's cross our fingers and let's hope that I can be able to get that in place, as well as I've got a few people that have offered to do trading strategies, which is quite good. So that will expedite my goal of getting about 10, 15 strategies in place in the next few months, and then being able to test which ones are profitable, you know, all the scenario and all the fun testing. Other than that, I'll talk to you later, and have a good day. Later.